Okay, this is olive wood. If you touch it, it feels moist. This is, you know, this wood has been sitting since last winter, but you can still feel the moisture in it. This is Abu Mitri, and Abu Mitri is originally from Bethlehem, and he started doing this type of work when he was 11 years old. And he's been doing so 55 years he's been doing this type of work. He's making some oval-shaped bowls that will be this, the outline is roughly this shape. But the first stage in making those bowls is to cut blocks of wood, and then he'll trace this on it and then carve the bowl out by hand from that point. So right now he's just, he's doing the raw cutting, and then he'll do the carving from there. This is Hassan, and Hassan is polishing napkin rings. This is all finished. You can feel how smooth it is. The smoothness is due to the sanding. The ladies upstairs do the final sanding on that. He'll take this beeswax, which we buy downtown, and he'll put it on the brush here, and then he'll brush the beeswax finish onto these. Okay, you may have noticed that one of the things that we make is figures out of olive wood. This particular one is an angel. And the first step to making this angel is taking this raw wood over here and cutting it up into blocks. So we'll cut it up into blocks like that, and then we'll take this piece, which is our model. And we'll take the model and we'll put it on this machine right here in the middle. This piece here goes back and forth so that you can adjust to the size piece you're working on, and it just mounts. This mounts on the spindle, and then you take 8 pieces of wood like this and put one in each of these 8 spindles here. And then you start the machine up.
If you ruin it, you ruin all 8.
And this piece of metal here is just a blunt piece of metal, but you use it to follow the shape of that carving. And then these bits here are all spinning at high speed, and they're milling out these 8 blocks in tandem with what you're doing. So all 9 of these are moving together. What you have when you finish is you have something that's basically a copy of this. In fact, we call this our copy machine. The wood that we use is all the result of pruning. We never cut down olive trees just for our work, because olive trees, if you are familiar with them, can be several hundred years old. And so in the fall, after the olive season, farmers will take out trees that aren't bearing fruit anymore. And when I say take them out, they don't actually take out the whole tree. They'll cut it off about 1 meter off the ground and just to a stump. And then the tree will come back from that stump and will bear fruit again. But what was cut off is the wood that we buy. So we've got a number of suppliers that cut down trees for farmers, and then they'll call us and say, I have so many tons of wood, and then we buy it. And this is Hudson, he's our supervisor down here. He'll show you how he makes his olive wood beads. You know where to go. It has a hole all the way through. Yeah, the hole goes all the way through. Good question. Well, first they have to dry, but then they get sanded. Then we'll put them in a tumbler with sandpaper. Smaller pieces of wood are used as they're cut into strips like this. He'll take those strips and he'll stamp with an ink stamp the pattern of whatever it is that he wants to make. He drills holes in the places where he needs to get his tiny little scroll saw blade in, and then he'll cut it from there. He makes it look so easy, but our lacquer station, the guy that's in there is deaf.
Winds through the olive trees.
The wood comes up from downstairs. These have been done by Alba-Mitri, the man who was working on the big saw. And these are all made by hand. And he does the first stage of sanding downstairs. And then they're brought up here. First thing that happens to the pieces when they come up here is they get sanded on one of these machines here. These are like big Dremel tools, except they have sandpaper wrapped around them. So they use that to machine sand in all of the cracks and areas like that. The pieces then go over to the next station. Noel is our supervisor up here. And about 99% of olive wood pieces have cracks in them. It's just the nature of the wood. It has so much oil and moisture in it. So what she does is she puts a specially mixed wood epoxy into those cracks. It hardens overnight, and then the next day that gets sanded off. And the pieces are distributed around to the tables, where the ladies then sand them 2 more times with a rough and then a fine sanding, and then they finally come back over here for a check sanding right before they go down for painting. So every piece, by the time it gets lacquered, has been sanded at least 5 times. There's some little 3-dimensional crush scenes. It has a roof, and then it has Mary, Joseph, star, palm tree. What she does is she matches colors and grains of wood for all the little pieces that go in this, and then she glues them all together before they get downstairs for a finished coat to be put on.